Hey there everyone, and welcome to another episode of this weekly Skyrim mod series where I, SgtGimlinho, give you all a nice overview of the newest, most exciting mods on Nexus while I act like I've got everything under control and know stuff, when in reality I don't know what I'm doing at all. Even so, a lot of you seem to enjoy it, so let's just get into the video. Coming in as the first mod of the video, we've got Undaunted. Skyrim is a game with a lot of replayability due to its massive world and all the different possible outcomes and the various quest lines, but if you still feel like that's not enough, then this mod is for you. Yes, with its dynamic, repeatable quest chains, it'll keep you entertained for a very long amount of time. To get started, you'll have to go to the new Undaunted camp located west of Windhelm. A mysterious looking man named Vigrod will be waiting for you there. He's a real special guy, not because he's consuming his bread through a tankard, yeah I know that's kinda weird, but no. Through some nice voice acting, he explains that he's the last of a bounty completing guild called the Undaunted.
One of the last Undaunted left roaming these lands. We task ourselves with purging evil, but far too few are of the character to join our ranks.
After listening to what he has to say, you can become a part of the Undaunted, awakening a power inside you called the Undaunted Invocation, a power that lets you sense out nearby evil. So by activating the Undaunted Invocation, you'll start a random quest line. Me, I was tasked with taking care of a couple of up to no good Thalmor. Now the difficulty and the number and quality of enemies you face are based on your character's skill level, or so I thought until I was met with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Thalmor and the goddamn Frost Atronach. And yes, of course I had to turn on God mode. It's the immersion breaking stuff like this I have to go through to deliver you guys that high quality Skyrim content every week. Don't you forget to subscribe and hit that gorgeous bell icon. After defeating the enemies and completing the task, I went on to cleanse the next location of its evil in the form of a wolf pack. I actually thought I'd be able to handle myself this time and went in without God mode until this werewolf was like, "Know your fucking place, you dumb peasant." Completing this task as well set me to the very last location nearby, where I had to slay a Spriggan Earth Mother. Now see this I can handle. Now when all the 3 tasks have been completed, you'll get this notification letting you know that you can use the key you've just attained. This key is needed to collect your rewards from a special chest back at the Undaunted camp. As I traded in my key, I'd fought so hard for it to open the chest. I was rewarded with, alchemy ingredients? I'm not gonna lie, me and my character were expecting a lot more. Just look at the disgust in her face. She does not look happy. These bounty challenge quests can be started at any time, anywhere in the lands of Skyrim. Just use your new power and enemies will pop up nearby for you to defeat and hopefully get better rewards than I did. The reward system is randomized and it supports items from all mods, including armor mods that rely on commands to get. All in all, it's a nice addition to any load order if you're looking for more quests and challenges to complete. Next up is yet another retexture mod from Clevercharf. Yes, I know. He's in a lot of these videos, but I haven't seen many retextures like this one. Here's Orb Strongholds by Clevercharf. I don't really spend a lot of time in Orb Strongholds, they're always so mean.
Leave now, outsiders. Nothing but trouble.
What are you doing here, Outlander? We don't deal with your kind.
Nonetheless, I do like what Clevercharf's done here with these crisp 4K textures. As you can see, it makes changes to all Orb Stronghold texture assets. Everything from the very long haul exterior to the walls surrounding the strongholds look better now. I mean, he always knows how to make the wood feel more woody, if that makes sense, and that's something I really appreciate. With more woody wood and better rough and sturdy looking stone walls, exterior looks great, but the mod affects the interior as well, giving it a darker look, more befit of the Daedric Prince Malakath preaching orcs. Now if you're looking at these 4K textures like you can already feel your graphics card crying, then don't worry, as there's a somewhat equally good looking 2K option as well. You won't really see a big difference unless you get unnaturally close to the textures. There's also a less harsh looking slated roof option if you prefer that. It all comes down to personal preference in the end. I find it important to get mods like this that affect the smaller, less frequently visited areas of Skyrim, so that they don't stick out like a sore thumb among all your other 4K textured towns and villages. On to the next mod, we've got a ported one in the form of CG4 Snow Effects SC. This is a very small mod, you won't actually make much notice of it in game, but it's just nice to know that it's there if you know what I mean, or maybe that's just me, I don't know. The mod adds the visual effect of snow sprinkles and drops in the snowy regions of Skyrim. As I've mentioned a bunch of times, it's the small mods like this that make for ultimate immersion. Just imagine it, a couple of weeks away from now, you've forgotten all about this mod, but then suddenly you go to the area around Dawnstar and get positively surprised flash as you walk by some tree, only to feel appreciative of the snow dropping down on you as you walk by, and you're like, damn, that's right, this is from that one mod Gim told me to install. That, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much how you'll experience this mod. The effect is very minimal. I walked around these snowy trees for a good amount of time, only to get a little bit of footage of the snowdrops. It really makes these snowy forests feel more alive, as you hear the branches rustle in the wind and see the small sprinkles of snow falling down. It barely has any impact on performance and works with the popular Skyrim 3D Trees and Plants mod, so there's really no excuse to hold out on this one. Dragons, yes, that is what we'll take a look at now in the mod HD Reworked Dragons Collection 4K by Hack Hogan. Yep, that's his name. This is doing really well on Nexus. It's gotten a lot of downloads in a short amount of time, and you'll see a lot of people hyping it up on the mod page. This mod brings all the dragons and dragon items found in the game of Skyrim to a stunning 4K quality with a 100% lore-friendly look. Dragons are a very important and integral part of the game. I mean, the whole main storyline is based upon the return of dragons, so you know they better look their best, and with this mod they definitely do. Away with the blurriness and in with the crisp, clean, detailed 4K textures seen here. The base vanilla dragon look has never looked as good as this. All the dragon types look more fierce and mighty with this mod installed. Just look at Aldo in here, looking all fresh and clean. You just gotta love that. You'll also see a massive improvements in the look of the dragon bones, as they go from looking like Play-Doh up close to actual bone. This really is a game changer of a mod for those looking to keep the original look of the dragons while making them look better at the same time. The mod authors also announced plans to release 4K reworks of the textures seen on dragon armors as well, so do keep an eye open for that. Now, since we're on the topic of 4K retextures of mighty beasts, we go from the fierce big dragons to the equally dangerous mud crabs. Alright, maybe that's an overstatement, but here's a mod Superior Mud Crab 4K retexture. Yes, similarly to the last mod, this is a 4K total retexture for everything related to mud crabs. Install the mod and watch as these sneaky little tricksters go from a blurry mess to something worth taking a second look at. Okay, let's be honest here, it's not like we take many close looks at the mud crabs of Skyrim, well, at least I don't, and I'd like to believe most of you don't as well. But again, it's the small things that you barely notice that make for that complete immersive experience. So give this small creature that much needed retexture and go back to killing them all before treating yourself to some nice 4K textured steamed mud crab legs. Next up, we've got the mod Realistic Armor. Now this is definitely as realistic as it gets. As much as I love my slutty armors, no matter how much I try to justify them, these just aren't realistic and immersive. Yes, it's time to cover up those buns. Now, the main purpose of this mod is to change the look of the Skyrim armors to be more realistic and more befitting of what was to be seen up north in the medieval times in real life. Although what you may consider the main armors have been replaced, so you can expect a more realistic, grey, boring look to armors like both the iron and those hide and studded armors, as well as the scaled, leather, and fur armors. Some of these replacements actually come with different varied looks as well, which makes perfect sense, as let's say all fur armors don't need to look the same, you know? Same material doesn't mean the exact same look on all armors, so it's very nice to see some variation. Not only does the mod replace the vanilla armors, it also adds new sets of armors like the steel scaled armor, mercenary armor, as well as some of those chainmail styled armors, among other ones that'll bring that realistic, gritty atmosphere to your game. So if you're looking for that high fantasy, skin revealing look, then look away, buddy, cause this provides you with the very opposite of that. Just look at that. No unnecessary reveal of the skin, the whole body's covered to protect the user from both cold weather and damage. If you want to make the armors look better with some nice 2K and 4K textures, there's also an optional file to add that. This is definitely some Game of Thrones Stark type shit, okay? These armors just reek of misery and darkness, two essential parts of what is to be expected in medieval warfare. Trust me, I've been on my fair share of crusades back in the day. The mod also replaces all the base iron weapons, again, to look more realistic and gritty. And if we're looking at this from a realistic perspective, this is exactly how it should be, you know? There's nothing flashy about these tools for warfare. The mod author has also stated plans to add more replacements of other weapon types in the future, so be sure to be on the lookout for updates that'll bring more realism to your weapons and armors. Now we'll take a look at yet another mod from Soldier of War. Rather than overhauling some town or city, he set his eyes on Mixedwater Mill, a place I didn't even know existed. Here's the great village of Mixedwater Mill SSE. This mod turns the mill into the lumber mill it was always meant to be. The small overhaul replaces the vanilla farmhouses and mill with new custom meshes, with buildings built in somewhat of a Nordic style with sod roofs. It just looks really peaceful and nice, as it blends quite nicely in with the surrounding area and the whole mill theme. looks kinda run down, which makes sense as lumber production slowed down with most of the inhabitants leaving to fight for the Stormcloaks, leaving Gilfra here all alone. Or at least she used to be, as the mod also adds a new small farm with a couple of new NPCs, including a kid that looks very normal. I very much enjoy these triangular hut-like shaped wooden houses. They look quite cozy, and the grass-covered roofs really add to that. Once again, Soldier of War has done a wonderful job making another one of the lesser locations of Skyrim more intriguing. Man, he really knows how to improve on these locations, whether it's adding new buildings or improving the ones that are already there. The next 3 mods are all from this mod author called Mofu, and they're all aimed at replacing the combat animations of Skyrim to look more fast-paced and fancy. First, we've got the mod Olivier Kenjutsu SE. Now, I don't know who or what Olivier is, but I do know that these animations look real good. The mod sets out to replace the vanilla one-handed animations. It mainly focuses on the power attack animations, as well as giving you a new stance that looks like something taken straight out of an anime. When performing a power attack standing still, you'll do a very aggressive, straightforward stab, but as you do the power attacks while moving, then you'll notice things getting a bit more interesting. Doing it moving forward, your character will spring into action with some form of Superman punch, or in this case, I guess we can call it Superman stab. Doing it backwards will result in an elegant little twirl. Power attacking towards your left will result in your character doing this big 360 jump slash that doesn't look exaggerated at all. The right power attack is more of a backwards twirl with a nice flick of the sword. This is probably the one I like the most. Now, if you liked animations and want to add some more, or just like certain aspects of it and want to be able to customize it, then there are 2 optional files. One of them replaces a right power attack animation to something that looks like what would happen if we ever got a James Bond movie set in Skyrim, as your character rolls onto the ground with an upward slash as they rise back up. The other optional file lets you replace the normal attack animations to something that'll match the rest of the animations a bit more. Do keep in mind that all the animations from this mod are all for one-handed use specifically. If you'd like something similar but for use with a 2-handed weapon, Mofu's also got 2-handed katana attack animations SE. What's interesting about these animations is that they make 2-handed sword combat feel more slow, but in a good way that makes sense with the use of heavy weapons, as you can see from these attack animations. Things get more fancy when power attacking forwards with a nice lunging low blow to the body. The right side power attack animation has been replaced with a slow twirl, while the left side one is more of a quick hand flicking slash to catch your opponent off guard. Doing it backwards will make your character perform a top-down slash towards the head, with the standard power attack when standing still being similar, just without the backward step. The stance here is nothing too special, it just looks mighty in a way. Now that Mofu's got you covered on both the 1- and 2-handed attack animations that, oh, by the way, work without the use of Finis and Nemesis, it's time to move on to the last one of his mods, Olivier Bash SE. Again, no idea who this Olivier is, but the mod changes the bash animation to a kick that'll work nicely with the other animations. It just makes more sense to do a kick when wanting to push the opponent back to create some space, rather than doing the base vanilla weapon bash. If you think the kick's a bit too much, you can replace it with this optional punch instead, to dominate your enemies with jabs. All these 3 mods from Mofu are really good options to change up the gameplay to something new and fresh. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to rate the video down below and leave some nice comments. And do make sure to endorse the mods on Nexus when installing them to show appreciation to all the mod authors. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to never miss the uploads. This has been Gim. May your road lead you to warm sands, everybody. See ya.